And now we're live. Now we're live.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Tech Talk, where for once I don't sound like I'm talking through a tin can with a piece of string attached to it.
No, it's because it only took an incorporation of one piece of software that does one thing okay, and another piece of software that does another thing okay, to get one, I don't know, Frankenstein piece of software that gets us somewhat by.
Here's the funny thing, too, guys, is a lot of people recommended, oh, why don't you just use like Discord and Skype, like separately, one for video, one for audio. And Jay and I both had consensus of you can't do that because they'll be out of sync with each other and it's going to be a random synchronization issue. We fire it up and it just works. like it's like flawless. Like we didn't have to add any delay to OBS or anything. It's just absolutely flawless.
So for everyone that was like telling us to do that and we were pushing back saying no you can't, you can have some solace in knowing you were right.
Yeah, if you guys want to just flood us with "I told you so" tweets, for some reason beyond my comprehension, this actually works rather well.
What's going to happen is everyone who didn't, like people who didn't suggest it are now going to tweet us and be like, told you so.
Yeah, I know, right? I want to feel smart.
Yeah. All right, I'm running the intro.
Welcome to Tech Talk, the most famous technology show on the internet, because the primary host is now friends with Terry Crews and builds computers for him, so he's all famous and stuff. Well, Jerry's most famous friend is,
me.
Probably right, though. It's probably sad. That's right.
Yeah, okay, so I was up at your place when he contacted me again, right?
Yeah, I was sitting here fangirl. I even ran downstairs just to tell my wife you were actually talking to Terry over my internet connection.
And you're like, he's talking to Terry Crews on my bits.
I was like, yeah, man, there's those TCP packets with your my router, man. Woo!
Yeah, but I just want to say, like, it's so slow going that the questions I asked him at your place, he answered today.
I believe it, man. That guy's like a mover and a shaker. He owns like 2 or 3 companies, plus does movies, plus does the TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I mean, the dude does everything.
And has the what was I gonna say? I forgot something. I was gonna say, oh yeah, he's got his design company.
Yeah, his design company, a furniture company, a clothing company. He's a father. I mean, dude, I don't know. I bet you he literally wakes up and from the time he is out of bed to the time he goes to sleep, he is working on something.
He is. In fact, that's why he's not coming to my house. I'm actually going to go to his office because I live an hour from him, and that's just too far for his schedule right now.
No, so, to be honest, I mean that kind of makes sense, right? I mean,
I offered for him to come here, which he was perfectly okay with. Because, you know, he hasn't met me in person yet. I don't want to be like, hey, let me come to your house or let me come to your space. I figured he'd be more comfortable going somewhere else and me not knowing where he is.
Yeah.
But he's perfectly fine. He's like, hey, come to my place. I don't care. So I'm going to his office in downtown LA, which would be kind of nice. But doing that Tuesday. Tuesday's going to be a busy day. It's going to be fun because I just want him to be able to just like nerd out. I want him to be able to like, let me talk to my people. You know, his new people that he's now a part of.
You know what you really need to do, though? You really need to vlog that day. That needs to be a vlog. I know you're not a big vlogger or anything, but that literally needs to be a vlog. Like waking up in the morning and being like, going to visit Terry Crews. I mean, you don't have to put him in, you don't have to like make him uncomfortable or anything, but I would say just that story needs to be told, dude.
That guy can't be made uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know, right? We've seen the shit he's done. Let's see. He's played a woman before on TV. That guy's done everything. Everything.
Guys, there would be absolutely no politic talk today. Just saying.
Yeah, Jay and I both made the conscious decision to not do that because the world is basically exploding right now. We want no part of it. So, if you want politics, go tweet other people.
The video and the audio are starting to get slightly out of sync.
See, we jinxed it.
It could be my VPN too. So I'm on a VPN that's not the best for streaming, I should say, but I have to be on the VPN, especially when I'm on Skype. So. Got to protect the IPers, the IPs and stuff.
I just tweeted out. I said, Tech Talk is now live. Come hang out and enjoy a politics-free stream tonight.
Yeah.
We're going to have like 8 million viewers now because everybody wants to escape politics tonight.
You can't get away from it. But we're not going to talk about it because it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it, regardless of how you voted. So
yeah, so just calm your tits. It's all good.
Jerry and I were talking about something before the stream that is, it's just, you can't escape recalls these days.
No. They are plentiful right now. And the funny thing is most recalls, in my experience, happen long after a product comes out, right? It's like, years of people reporting issues and everything. But look how fast they're getting reported now. Like the biggest one as of late is would be sorry, not DJI, GoPro Karma, their little quadcopter, their entry into the quadcopter space. And they recalled it literally 16 days later after shipping only 2,500 units.
They recall them entirely, or is there just
entirely because they said that they're suffering a power failure where the drone is just literally just powering down in mid-flight and falling like a rock.
Are there any videos of this?
I'm sure there are. I haven't actually gone and looked, but the number one thing that you cannot, like, it's better for a drone to literally catch fire and still be able to land than to just cut power and fall on people. So, and the funny thing is other companies too, like DJI and stuff, have had experiences with random failures and stuff falling out of the sky, and they've never issued any kind of recalls. I mean, they've investigated it and tried to figure out what the issue is. To have a recall class issue, they have to have a pretty significant amount of people reporting the issue. And they never tell you just how many it is, but I have to imagine with a big company like GoPro, it had to have been a pretty catastrophic thing to recall that quickly. Like, they must have gone back and like literally looked at the blueprint for the thing and been like, oh shit. You know, it's
or they're just being highly responsible and seeing this as a public safety issue, and they're not going to take any chances.
That's true. After Samsung, I'm pretty sure every company is on edge, because I think that's the, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest recall in history, money-wise.
Probably.
I think it was $8 billion. They said is what that costed them.
Well, for them to kill off the entire division or that phone division, right? That the Note series is done.
Did they say they're not going to do another Note?
I thought that's what somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that Samsung confirmed that they were no longer going to be making the Note.
It's possible. It makes sense to rebrand it at this point, because that stigma will stick with it forever.
It's the Net 7.
Yeah, exactly. It's the paper 7. But the phone itself was absolutely beautiful. The engineering on it, absolutely beautiful. Like I said, that was the phone that was going to make me switch to iPhone. It just sucks that a defective.
You mean Android?
Or Android, sorry. Yeah, iPhone to Android. Because, you know, I've tried to make that switch. Like, people give me a lot of crap and be like, dude, you should try Android. You guys, I reviewed the OnePlus One and used it religiously for like a month. I reviewed the LG G4 and used that for about 2 weeks. I always went back to iPhone, and it was because the experience on iPhone with app stability, the ability for social media stuff was a lot better on it overall. That's why I ran into it.
It's more threaded. The apps feel more threaded into iOS, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the other thing too is iOS is starting to go downhill, as you can clearly tell with iOS 10. I mean, it's the phone has some serious issues that it didn't have before. Mainly Siri. Have you ever noticed, like, when you hold down the button to like talk to Siri, sometimes it's like it's like not ready for you to talk, or sometimes it's like, oh, I don't know what you just said. Mm-hmm. Like that. And it's like in iOS 9, I never had that problem. I literally used the phone the exact same way as I did in iOS 9, and now that scenario works maybe 1 out of 3 times, and that pisses me off. Like. So now Android is becoming a viable option, right?
You wouldn't think I would have learned my lesson by now by asking the internet for confirmation on something, because I've just been confirmed that the Note series is dead, and it's just been confirmed by the internet that the Note series is continuing with the 8. Right here in our chat room, that has been confirmed both ways, guys.
But despite that, even though they're continuing with the 8, I mean, they had to kill an entire generation of phone, which means throw all the R&D out the window for that generation, right? They'll continue and use some of it for the next generation, but all that's out the window. All the marketing that they did was out the window. Recalling and eating the cost of all the hardware out the window. I mean, that's why it added up to like $8 billion.
Note 8 has been confirmed. So they killed off the Note 7 entirely, and they're just going straight to 8. Which is nothing but a Note 7 with the battery like soldering fixed.
Yeah, and the thing that's really ironic too is that the Edge. Have you seen the Samsung Note Edge, or not the Note Edge, but just the Samsung Galaxy 7 Edge?
Oh yeah, of course.
It looks almost identical to the Note minus the pen. I mean, there's a little bit of a size difference, but other than that,
it just has a little edge screen, you know, that rolls over the side of the phone.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, they both have the same processor in them too. So
I'm laughing at is it YouTube in chat? He says the internet is always right and wrong
at the same time.
True. Yeah, at the same time. I'm telling you, it's totally
Schrodinger's net. That's what they should have called it.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Okay, so donations here, guys. There was a huge list of donations from last week. I'm not going to read those all on chat this week because I want to keep things streamlined. I have read every single one of them. That was on the same day I uploaded my rant video where I was just up there being a whiny little girl about the internet.
How Hey, how much do you like that when now you finally understand where I'm coming from on this? When you make a video that for you made that video for you more than anything. I mean, that's a therapy video.
Yeah.
And you put it out there and it gets like more views than like anything else you do in like a short period of time. Doesn't that agitate you to some degree?
Not really, because I've never really done that. Other than when I quit my job and then when I announced I was quitting my job, those are all like a year apart practically. Because I rarely do that, I just feel like the audience cares like about what I had to say, which made me feel good, not agitated.
No, I get that, but for some reason with me, it just makes me feel like because I put so much effort into the other stuff, and then that's the sit down heartfelt video, and I understand. I understand. There's many aspects why people can connect with that, and I even watched your whole video. And we know I don't watch your shit like hardly ever.
Yeah,
and
true.
I sat down and watched that whole thing because I was resonating with it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, now even though we talk a lot, I learned some things from watching that video, and it's just crazy.
But you know what? So many of my YouTube peers have watched that video. Paul, Kyle, Edgar, even people that aren't even in our space, that like the cell phone guys, right? A lot of YouTubers watched that video and shared it because it applied to everybody.
Yeah,
it applies to everybody.
Find it now. Why isn't it in your list? You didn't take it down, did you?
I didn't take it down.
That's weird. Why isn't it in your upload? I'm looking at your uploads list right now. If you guys haven't seen the video, I highly recommend that you watch it. Like if you're here for Tech Talk for me this week, go over to Jay's channel. Even if you don't like him and you think Jay's a dickhole and you want to kill him in the face, go watch the video. He makes a lot of really, really, really good points.
You know what the difference is though, and we'll move off this topic, is when you make a video about a printer or you make a video about a bike or in my case, a monitor or a graphics card, only the majority of people watching those videos are going to be people that are only interested in that topic. But when you make a video about you would hope that your collective audience is there because of you, and they're all interested in that topic.
That's a good point.
So
that's actually a really good point. I didn't even really look at it that way. That the percentage of your audience, that everybody's watching you for your personality. Well, the majority, right?
Right.
Some are off in their little buckets like water cooling or like GPUs and stuff like that. But yeah, they all collectively like you or something about you. Or
all except for maybe about 3 or 4%, which are just dedicated haters. But
those are just the trolls. Those are the 69 downvotes 3 seconds into the video launch.
Those are the people who literally have such little going on in their life that they follow you just to be there to troll you when you put something up because they have nothing better to do.
Exactly.
And that's not even an insult. That's probably a fair assessment.
Oh, I think that's a completely fair assessment. So if you guys after the Tech Talk, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. The video's titled "Just Some Things That I Felt I Needed to Say," and it's actually one of the few videos that Jay's done that doesn't suck. It's actually like I'll give it a thumbs up. It's
hey,
decent.
The one after that too, where I built my friend a computer, that one didn't suck.
That was good. Actually, that was the second video that
heartfelt.
I watched 80% of that. I did have to skip through a little bit of it, but
if you skipped through part of the build, but as long as you saw the reaction, then you saw the point of the video.
Oh, dude, I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was killer that he's like the old system's going to his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So now she's got like the Stormtrooper and he's got like the Vader system. I think that's cool. Also, damn, I can't believe 80,000 likes on that video, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
80,000 likes. That is just wild.
It struck a chord. I mean, I'm guilty of being a part of the silent majority, and I think that the silent majority is why we, as a society, are finding ourselves dug in a really deep hole. So if the silent majority would take back the power that it holds, the trolls wouldn't win. They wouldn't.
Could you imagine how good content would be on YouTube though? If everybody, I know this is a pipe dream, but if everybody was civil and everybody that was watching their respective channels were doing it because they like the content creators, could you imagine like how much better the content on YouTube would be as a whole?
Yeah, quite a bit.
I think that would be absolutely amazing, but we all know that sunshines, rainbows, and lollipops aren't going to happen, and everybody knows the fastest way to get to somebody is to treat them like shit instead of treat them nice. It's the whole nice guys finish last thing seems to apply universally across YouTube comments.
It applies universally in life, dude. All right, here we go. Pup Shepherd. Wow, $25 this week, dude. That's awesome.
I'm gonna go look at my pup.
Well, the question was for you too, which is what's funny. He said, "Did you get to your PO box? If you did, please enjoy my gift package."
Oh, my wife went to the post office today. Literally went to the post office and forgot to check my PO box, and that's like why she went to the post office. So I'm not really sure what she did while she was there.
Oh no!
But hopefully she'll check it on Monday. And don't worry, if there's a bunch of stuff in there, I'm gonna be Instagramming that out all day long because I really appreciate people thinking about me on my birthday.
Elrod says, you should do a YouTube episode of trading wives. Do you guys think your women can handle that shit? Dude, I'm happy to be here every Thursday, baby dumplings.
Dude, I'm game. You game? Let's start working on them.
You only want to swap for the bedroom activities, knowing you. That's the
Oh
only
yeah.
reason why you want to swap. But
Oh yeah.
okay, I can tell you right now. I know for a fact if Felicia can handle Jerry, she can handle me. I'm not sure that my wife can handle you, but
Probably.
given the way that the conversations between them, whenever we hang out, like the few times they have been near each other, it
Mhm.
always inevitably turns into like, does Jerry do this? It's like, oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Jay does that, and they just sit there and kind of compare and contrast our bad personality.
Yeah, yeah. I think I think what it boils down to is we're both clearly dirty old men behind closed doors.
No,
And
not me. I'm a prude.
you know what the difference is though between our wives? I can tell you this is behind closed doors. I think they
One's tall and one's short.
well that too, that too. But no. Isn't that funny? You have the short one and I have the tall one. Like I'm the short one
Yeah.
in my relationship. But the one thing is like my wife in public is very very like reserved, right?
Hmm.
Like when she gets comfortable around you, she's a lot different. Like she said some pretty funny things that even caught me off guard when you're up here. But
Yeah.
but she's usually like that. Your wife, on the other hand, she definitely just wears it right out there on her sleeve. She's like, this is who I am all the time. I think
My wife is a lot like me, where she's just ran out of give a fucks.
that's zero fucks, and I think that's the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. You and I, when we walk by each other, by the way, I feel like it's the movie Junior with Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, think about that mental image. If you guys have
Oh
never seen the movie Junior, go look that up. It's one where actually Arnold Schwarzenegger becomes pregnant. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Just to be clear, Jay is the pregnant one. Okay, I'm just the fat one losing his hair.
I'm pretty sure that's the right movie. I'm gonna look it up.
No,
real
it
quick.
is. It is. I haven't seen that movie in forever,
Okay,
but I'm
yeah.
positive that's correct. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger gets artificially inseminated. Artificially.
Yeah.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah,
Did
I
you get
did.
it? Yeah, I made a joke. Okay.
Artificially, I liked it. Basically, it's a story about two brothers that are twins, but they're like paternal twins.
Right.
And one gets all the bad genes because it's all done through gene therapy, right? One of them gets all the perfect genes, and that's Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he gets like the perfect life, raised up on an island and everything, and the best education, everything. And then all the crap genes that are left over go into the Danny DeVito character,
Right.
the other brother, and he basically grows up in a city and is like a con artist and everything like that. And they end up getting together, and that's like the whole premise of the movie. Through the whole thing is they kind of get together and they realize that they have a lot in common.
Mhm.
You know, but mostly at first glance, you're like, there's no way in hell these are the furthest things from twins you could ever imagine.
Jinzo Defiler says, "Hey Hobbs, are you drunk yet?" Hobbs, you can type your response under that question,
I feel
and I'll read
bad
it.
for Hobbs a little bit because
He's
I
now
think
getting trolled by you.
that is new. That is the new Linus Lambo now. Hobbs, are you drunk yet? So many people were saying that everywhere, like down at PDX land. I think
Yeah.
you like it, though. Hobbs, you know you like it. He likes the attention. I think he's going to start vlogging too. I think I unofficially launched his vlogging career with "Are you drunk yet?"
R Jolly 87 says, "Insert trollish political comment here." Let's see. You know what? Okay, speaking of, so when I was trying to have politic talk with my wife, and I'm not gonna talk about politics, but when I was talking with her about it, I kept slipping. Like I couldn't say President Trump. I couldn't bring myself to say it. Like it just kept, like my mouth just wouldn't do it. I think one time I said President Clump, one time I said President Chump. Like not even like making jokes. It just came out. One time I went to say President. See, it almost happened again, President Clump, and then I think,
Okay.
but I think President Clump has a better ring to it. President Clump.
It does, but you're breaking the political rule.
No, we're not talking about politics. I mean,
We're talking about a name. Okay.
I'm just saying that I just thought it was funny that the Freudian slips were actually really funny names. So anyway, Blue Burger. Hobbs says nope. Jinzo. Anyway, Blue Burger. Hey Jay, with the 1080 for the win VRM issue, do you think it will be fixed in production by Black Friday, or should I go with a different AIB? So AVGA had told me they had already stopped production by the time this became a public issue, and all of the manufacturing went to repairing the cards that were already in inventory, and the RMA is coming in, and any card that is produced like after all of that is already going to have the fix. Just know that any card you buy from EVGA directly should have the fix. If you buy it from somebody that already had it in inventory, like Newegg or whatever, I don't know the answer to that. So you'll have to ask EVGA. Adrian Gaming says, "Love you guys. Let's player a streamer here." What? Let's player. Oh, let's play. Never mind. Let's player and streamer here. That means he does let's plays. Should I get a 5820K, a 6800K, or wait for Skylake E? Looking for 6 cores for more streaming compressing power. I think he means compressing. Is he talking about
Stream
encoding?
power.
I guess. Currently have a 6700. I don't think we're going to see Skylake E necessarily all that soon. It was just this June when they announced Broadway E.
Yeah, no, I don't. I honestly don't think it's going to be out until probably later. And
Probably Computex-ish time again.
yeah, because I even talked to Puget Systems has been talking to me about refreshing William, and they were talking about the new Intel processor, and it sounded like it was a ways out. Like they didn't sound like it was anywhere in the near future.
I can say this: NDAs for the new stuff are already out, so it gives you a timeline to go by when NDAs are out. But that's not going to be extreme processor stuff, which is like X109 or whatever they're going to call it. That's just, I don't even know if they're going to change the chipset of the board. I honestly don't know. Because remember, we had X79 stuck around for 4 years. We had 4 new CPUs that went on X79 or 3. Yeah.
The other thing, this is something I don't know that you'd probably know. Do the Xeons come out at the same time? Do the consumer grade CPUs drop before the Xeons? Do they like hold out for additional testing, or do they all come out at the same time?
They usually come out around the same time. They just don't get the same fanfare.
Okay, gotcha.
Them.
Yeah, I was just curious because this would definitely be Xeons that were going into the rig.
Xeons tend to only just be marketed and sold directly to like ODM and OEM manufacturers.
Yeah,
kind of like guys like Puget and stuff. They don't really have a lot of retail push that go around with them. But that's why they're usually like really quiet sort of releases.
Oh, Hobbs just messaged me and said that the audio is my audio on the stream is complete crap. Are you experiencing that?
Sounds normal to me.
Does it?
Fanfare? Let me listen.
Okay,
here.
gotcha. This would definitely be Xeons that were going into the rig. Definitely be Xeons that were going into the rig. No, to me it sounds fine. I don't know what Hobbs is talking about. I mean, it's not like perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was on Skype.
Hobbs' computer's drunk. Mr. Pete 1985 says, any camera suggestions in the $400 range? Would like to start making YouTube videos of PCB repair. Need something with good low light performance. Good low light performance and $400 do not go to hand. Do not go hand in hand.
You know what you need to do, honestly, and I've been telling people this for a while now, is if you're doing something that's stationary like that, you don't require moving around a whole bunch, spend your money on the lighting equipment. Like literally just go get yourself, because if you have a shitload of light, you can actually record like video on your iPhone that looks DSLR if you have enough light. So focus on the light if you're in that price range, and don't try to get a camera that can do like ultra low light handling.
A lot of people said I sounded quiet, so I just turned my gain up about 1 point.
Gotcha. So, but as far as cameras in that price range, I would just go get like one of the little Canon PowerShot guys. Those things actually do really, really good video for the price.
They do. Just you're not going to get a lot out of the battery.
No, you're not. And the other thing too is make sure that if you buy one that it can be powered via USB while you're recording. Some of them can't, but the ones that can, you just plug a $20 Anchor brick into the damn thing and it'll record like all day. So
or until the sensor gets hot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the other thing. Don't try to get a 4K. I did all the research on this, guys. Yep. Stay away from the pocket cameras that are 4K. They all suffer from the same problem. That is the sensors overheat within 5 to 10 minutes.
I would like to interject and say, don't stay away from them. Just don't expect to shoot long periods of video with them. They're good for a couple of minutes at a time.
Yeah, for like B-roll, for like B-roll and quick cuts. And that's the truth is, if you plan your shots, no one continuous shot in your video is going to be longer than say like 5 or 10 minutes. But here's the problem that I run into is a lot of the videos that I do where I want to talk about something and B-roll over the top of it. And this is a format that you use a lot too. You sit down and you talk continuously for a long period of time and then you edit it afterwards. And it's a lot of jump. You might have up to an hour of continuous footage that you then edit down to 10 or 15 minutes, like with all your pauses and moving around and like reorienting and stuff. So when I tried to shoot stuff with my AX100, it cuts out at about 15, 20 minutes. I was still hitting that cutoff constantly and losing stuff. So I would still say if you're new to shooting video, get a camera that favors shooting really long periods, because then you just turn the damn thing on, do everything that you want, turn it off, and then start from there. And then once you start getting more complicated in your process and stuff like that, and then you can start being aware of problems where you cut off.
Get a fully outfitted FS5 like I have.
No, don't do what Jay did. Jay almost sucked me in because that camera is so goddamn beautiful.
I didn't suck you in. You're the one that kept wanting to do. The more you looked at it, you started researching it. I never once said, "Hey, Jerry, you should get this." I told you not to.
No. The second you pulled that thing out and showed it to me, Jay. The second you whipped that thing out.
We're talking about the camera, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Whatever you want, underlying things. But no, that camera drags you in, because when you look at a really professional piece of equipment, you're like, wow. And the thing is, Jay actually knows how to use it, right? Jay actually read the manual. Like, you know,
No, I didn't. There's no manual for this.
How the hell did you figure out all that stuff? I couldn't do that. There's so many buttons on that thing.
Dude, I told you, no film school. If you guys want to learn how to do things with cameras, you go to nofilmschool.com. It is literally like...
He didn't read the manual. He took the tutorial. But at any rate, the stuff that camera can do, like if you need to shoot in any situation, whether it be dark, light, whatever, that camera, you turn it on. If you know the right buttons to massage on that thing, it'll do it perfectly. That's where you have to get a little bit more creative with the lesser equipment. The lesser equipment, I have to trust auto mode a lot, which means what I get, the shot that I get, doesn't necessarily match my vision of the shot. So I have to do a lot.
At least it's usable versus the getting crap that you can't use at all.
Exactly. And that's when I talked myself out of it. Is after you left, I really wanted that camera. You know how bad I wanted that camera when you left. I was even trying to find a place local to buy it, in fact. Right. And I talked myself out of it because I watched a Casey Neistat video, which you also got me addicted to that guy. Thanks, Dick.
Sorry.
I've literally watched I'd say, not even joking, 50 of his videos so far.
He's got an interesting life.
He's an interesting life, and the thing is,
sort of shot himself in the foot by his political views and calling out other YouTubers. But if you can look past that, he has an interesting life.
And that's the thing is, I don't judge people. That's one thing I don't do. I see all these other YouTubers like judging, like, oh, unfollow me or unsub me if this. No, I don't care who you voted for. I don't care which deity or flying spaghetti monster or whatever you pray to. I don't care as long as you're a nice person. That's just laying it down. That's like, I'm never going to judge you for any of that shit. You just be you. And as long as you're nice, I'm cool with it. And but back to the video equipment, I sat down and I was like, you know what? Casey said, you need to get, and this is what resonated with me. And you probably watched a video where he said this too. He said, the most important thing about the cameras that you use and the equipment that you use is that it doesn't get in the way of the story.
Mm-hmm.
He said you need to be able to have it operate at a moment's notice. You need to be able to capture something, you know, as it's happening, and you need to not have to worry about it. You just push a button and it's just going. And that resonated with me. And I was like, you know what? And that's when I put my AX100U away, which is my little camera that has the problems with like battery life and all that. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to carry around this FDR AX33 and stick a Gorilla Pod on it because I saw how he was using the Gorilla Pod, and I was like, damn, this is awesome. And I went and shot that vlog. You saw 2 of the vlogs that I did so far. I did the one, the PDX land, and then I did the one for my birthday. And both those vlogs, my wife, she doesn't usually watch my stuff, right? Because it's mostly technical. She watched those vlogs. She liked them, and she really liked the editing. And what that comes down to is it was very easy for me to just keep turning the camera on and capturing things throughout the day without having to give it any thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what was important. I think that was the point that I was missing. Whereas you, Jay, you're more of an artist in the regard of the craft, right? You know the camera, the lens, you do your research, you love to compose your shots, you know about bokeh and all that stuff, and you have a plan in your head. So you need a tool that can let you act on that. Let's be honest. I'm a green square setting kind of guy.
Yeah.
As soon as I make it any more complicated, like you remember, I used to shoot on a Canon
5D Mark III.
Mark III, which is when it came out was a $3,500 camera body and another $2,000 worth of lens on it. And I'll be honest, everything I shoot today looks better than it did on that camera just because I don't have to know all the technical stuff to focus. I don't have to worry about getting the focus wrong. I don't have to worry about any of that shit. It just works.
Right.
But I don't have that massive low light performance. Like I can't go into the bathroom and, shoot ISO 100 with the lights off like you can with like the FS5. But that's the price I pay to be able to just turn it on and use it. And it doesn't mean the footage isn't usable.
I want to point out something. First time I really got to test the low light on the FS5. Right? And by the way, it's fully outrigged now on a rail system and stuff since I came home. But I made it so it could detach from the rail quickly. So I can take it off the tripod and rail by itself and just the body, or take the shoulder mount off because I'm preparing for CES. So it's got a shoulder rig now. But the video. So you saw on the video where I made my friend the computer. You saw when we were in the back of the car, right?
Yes.
That was shot in. Okay, let's put it this way: it was so dark that I thought it was going to be unusable because the LCD screen was completely black, and and that was set at 3200 ISO right there because I didn't want it to go any farther. So what you saw right there was just the sensor picking up the little bit of light that was like from the dome light inside the back of the van, and then the street light that was behind him, which is not helping. It's just silhouetting him.
Yep.
But that's how good it looked in darkness outside. I was just in shock because I thought for sure. You even heard me like when I first start up that scene. You even hear me go, "You can't see nothing." It's like, you can't see a damn thing. I was like, oh, well, we'll just do this anyway. So I'm recording him, and I'm thinking that none of this footage is going to be usable. I take it, I offload it, put it on the computer, I color correct it, I look at the histogram, and I'm like, it's perfect for no artificial lighting.
In the neutral density thing on that, the fact that neutral density is pretty much always engaged, like it needs it. Like the sensor is basically, the camera is so sensitive to light that it basically needs sunglasses. Like
even indoors.
Indoors, whereas where I'm shooting, like this guy, this is my go-to right here, and I just got the new big version of this. It's not any big.
Oh, you got it? Yeah.
No, this is the AX33. The 53 is still in the box. I'm going to unbox it.
That's what I was saying. The AX53 was like the $1,200 or $1,300 one.
But I consider this the perfect vlogging camera, and I'll tell you why. But it wouldn't work in that scenario. Like where Jay was doing in the back of the car, it would literally look like just noise. It would just be noise. Like I would need a light source to shoot that, or I'd use
just
night
a sensor
shot.
size.
Yeah, the night I could use night shot, but it would look like Predator, right? I mean, it wouldn't look good. But this thing, the thing I like about this, where the FS5 would let me down, is this. Look how big that thing is in my hand, right? That's everything. I can stick that in the pocket of my coat, and it's got a screen that flips around in every direction I could possibly want so that I can see it. It's got all the auto features that I need to shoot what I want. I can put as big a battery as I want, up to a 6-hour battery on it. And it's just so self-contained, and it's image stabilized.
6 hours, is that all?
Yeah, that's the biggest battery you can put on this without. But you can do this. But you can do this. You can plug this into it and go. I still haven't ran one of these out.
I'm just kidding, because remember that big battery I got for it. Everyone was just flipping out over how long that lasted at the shoot. Like they put it on the charger during lunch, which was all of maybe 40 minutes, and by the end of the day, it still had I think it was 96%.
Dude, I remember we were up in the room and we were trying to get it to drop 1% so we could get around the bug, the 100%.
Yeah.
And it's like the thing to drop 1%. You just had it sitting on the desk recording uncompressed 4K for like a half an hour.
It was 46 minutes.
Was it 46 minutes to get it drop 1%? It's like 46 minutes doing 4K on this with the standard battery pack.
Would have overheated.
Well, no, this never overheats. but yeah, this would run the battery dead at 4K in about an hour, which is still.
Guys, I know every time I make a sound, it cuts Jerry off, and I'm not trying to do it on purpose. I promise. It's just stupid software. This FS5 has an active cooling system in it. It has a fan. It actually has a fan inside the camera and vents. It's weird.
It's really cool. All right.
So moving on. Don't sweat the camera. The content comes first, man.
And I'm learning that all over again. For a long period of time, my channel was starting to fail because I was so focused on watching all the other guys and their crazy equipment and progression. And I was too focused on that and not on what made me popular in the first place. And that was just doing my thing. Like
all the camera allows me to do, like you said, is scratch my creative itch.
Yep.
Wherever that itch may be in my body. Moving on. Mr. Pete 1985 says any camera. Oh wait, never mind. I already did that one.
Let's go.
Thried Wolf says, thank you for all the fantastic content you consistently put out. Love your channel and Barnacle channel as well. Thank you both. Jared Lewis says, I'm planning to upgrade my GPU from a R7 360 to a 484 gigabyte this tax season. I'm running the 8320E. I was wondering if you know of anybody that is selling one used. No, I can't help you with that. Thank you so much, and that is $350 for you and $350 for Jerry. The joke is he donated 10, but after taxes, we get $350 or so.
Yeah, totally.
Ken Kimmel says, hey, will you be reviewing any AIO coolers? I have a new build with a H100i V2 and cannot get my temps below 30C. What? That 30C is amazing. What's the problem with 30C?
Yeah, I mean, are you going to put a refrigerator? Are you running this in a refrigerator? Because that's the only way you're going to get below ambient.
Actually, Linus tested that. It doesn't work. It continues to heat up because the refrigerator doesn't remove heat from the refrigerator itself.
Oh, interesting.
From the environment inside of it. It doesn't remove heat. So it's not designed as an exchanger like an air conditioner.
Gotcha.
So the ambient temp inside of it will continue to go up. D Gluten says, you inspired me into my first water cooled build this spring. Now I am freaking out about whether or not it will fit like I want it to. If you have any free time, I would appreciate a glance at my plan. Email it to me. It's the best I can suggest, and then patiently wait. My email
invest in a Dremel. Just invest in a Dremel. You will make it fit.
Then everything will fit.
Yeah.
Kyle Misho? I think it's Misho. Not another troll. LOL. Currently using an Acer XB241H. I have one in the garage. No, I have the 28. I want to upgrade to 4K with an IPS panel. Suggestions. Looking at the LG 31M U97 Also, will my 780 Class 5 be okay running it? I won't be gaming on it. Okay, so the LG 34 or 31M97, I believe, is a 1440p. It's a wide QHD format. Also 60 FPS or 60 hertz with I want to say it's a 5 millisecond response time. Could be a little slower than that. That really depends if you want the high refresh rate. The panel you listed is not a high refresh rate, so don't go backwards on that.
I do want to interject one thing on that too. And if you are going to get a 4K screen, unless you're going any bigger than I would say at the minimum 34 inches, don't do 4K. Just don't go the 1440p route. Honestly, the pixel density is so freaking high that unless you're glued your face to the screen, all you're doing is just wasting GPU cycles. Honestly, that's my opinion. I don't know if you agree.
I agree. Yeah. 4K is not for me yet.
We need like the sweet spot from what I've seen, like with the Predator gaming and stuff. It's like you can game at an incredibly high frame rate.
Absolutely.
At 1440p. Yeah, so go that route.
Absolutely. There are 144 hertz 1440p monitors out there. Whether or not
go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Asus is making a high refresh rate IPS panel in 4K, so I'm waiting to get my hands on one of those, hopefully, so I can see if the input lag is gone, which is our major complaint.
It is. And plus, you've seen now you've properly come up and seen my 50-inch screens in 4K. You still see how small everything is, right? Inches, it's like the equivalent of having like a 1080p monitor that's like 19 or 20 inches. It's crazy. So guys, just the 4K thing is an itch that some people feel like they need to scratch. Trust me, unless you're doing huge screens, huge, it's a waste of GPU. You're just going to give yourself headaches.
Relax Matt says, hi Jay, I just purchased an EVGA 1080 hybrid and I was wondering if 2 Be Quiet Silent Wings 3 high speed on push-pull would be a great move. Your review is pretty good. Thank you. Yeah, but so technically putting any fan on there that you can control the speed and make it ramp up higher than EVGA software has it set would be an improvement. But push-pull would allow you to get some pretty good temps too. I tested it in that video. You saw it, so you kind of see what the results would be.
Oh, hey, quick question. On the push-pull setups, do you actually adjust the intake fan or the exhaust fan faster than one or other, or do you run them at the exact same speed?
You talking about the fans on either side of the radiator?
Right. Okay. I was wondering if you run them at different speeds.
Run them at the same speed.
Okay.
Because they're going to equalize the pressure drop.
Gotcha.
You don't want one speeding up because balance issues.
See, I was just thinking distance on the radiator itself. You might want to speed up the intake fan a little bit more to overcome that. But I guess the exhaust, they're going to balance each other out, right?
That's the whole point of the exhaust fan is pulling that air through. So there's no pressure, not nearly as much of a pressure drop. Octoman's PC. Damn, I want to get through these so Jerry can get to his. Guys, you guys are so damn generous. I don't.
Crap. I've got so many of these dudes. So even when you're done, I probably got 20. Oh, I love you guys.
I love you guys too, but I almost feel like we need to cut the donations out of the show entirely.
We need to figure this out. Yeah, definitely. The minimum donation starting next show is $2,000.
I will read a $2,000 comment. I guarantee it.
Yeah, we'll figure something out, guys. Maybe I don't know, do a Patreon or something for the show. I don't know. It's got to be something different though, because this is crazy.
Guys, a lot of these are just supportive comments saying you're doing great. Keep it up. I want to, like I told you before the show, and I want to say this publicly in front of everyone. I'm glad I went up there because it did seem to light a fire under your ass. And I can see that you've been incorporating some different styles and ideas into your vlogs, and I will say this, that they are infinitely more engaging than they used to be. So killing it. You're killing it right now. Your numbers have pulled back up, and I'm proud of where you're going with this.
Well, thank you, sir. And you are absolutely right. You were what the doctor ordered. I just need a Big J to come up here and spoon me for a little while. Now
what did I keep calling it? Jay's YouTube University?
Jay's YouTube University.
When I was up there? Jay's YouTube U?
Yeah. I had some major sand in my mangina that I needed to clear, and talking to you helped a lot. So,
and then I came home and I was like, why am I so stressed?
I know. Basically, I remember we had to talk, and it was like you came up here, and it's like I gave you my AIDS, and then you took it down to California.
And then I just shotgun blasted it at the internet with that video.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, I'm gonna read this one from Kyle Yost real quick. He says, "Hey guys, I was the guy that suggested Jay go to Dirtfish and Jerry go to Willow Springs back on the first Tech Talk that you guys were able to accept donations on YouTube. Glad to see one of those things happened. Just wanted to say thanks to both of you for inspiring me to start my own YouTube channel, Project Synchro. There's your shout out. His channel name is Project Synchro. It hasn't been the easiest, but we are coming close to 1,000 subs. Wow, congrats, especially if you just launched that. And it's all because of you two saying, do what you love. Thanks again. I also donated last week, 1 minute before your show switched to Twitch. My bad.
You know what this means? Now I got to come down and go to Willow Springs. We have to make that happen.
So let's switch to car talk for a minute, and I'll let you go through some of your donations. Like I said, guys, I can't read all these. There are just too many. Jerry and I have to figure out a new system. I honestly thought putting the $5 limit on there would have made people go, I'm not giving them $5, but that backfired bad.
So, but guys, after the show, I'll go through and will reply just like I did last week. If I don't get to your message, I will reply an email.
That's what I see. I can't reply to them afterward because I just have their name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so don't hold Jay to that same standard, because YouTube, the way that they do it, there's no email. I actually get an email every time you donate, so I can literally click reply and reply right back to you. Jay can't do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're gonna have to implement a new policy on this. It's not greed. Yeah. It's really not. All right, so car talk. Let's go there for a minute, and then we'll let you do yours.
Sounds good.
November 20th, Nizzy is going on the track. I'm taking her on the track.
Just don't tell your insurance company. Shh, quiet.
If something happens to the car, I can pay for it, so it's not a problem. I know that sounds all dickholish, but I wouldn't take it there if I couldn't take. I wouldn't take it to the track if I couldn't deal with the most extreme worst case scenario.
No,
which is why I told Edgar TechSource on Twitter when he was like, "Yeah, man, let's take our cars to the track." I'm like, "You might want to leave your Lambo at home," because he does have a Lambo. I mean, he bought a Lambo.
He was going to let me drive his Murcielago. Maybe I can talk him into let me take it on the track. I don't know. Can you do that in Canada?
What a lot of people don't know is that when you have an incident on track, when you collide with another car, you wreck your car on a track. I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but at least here they do notify your insurance company because of insurance fraud.
They have to, because the track can actually be held liable.
Yes.
In a fraud investigation if they don't report it. So they literally, like, when you go out and race that day, you have to write down your license plate number and everything. At least I did when I went to the Ridge.
Right.
Like, they literally have a sheet of paper so that if you get in a wreck or something, you drive off or try to haul off your car, they still have everything right there to report.
So, yeah, you have to show all that stuff when you register and show up at the event, but then most people take their plates off their cars. That way they don't show up in pictures and stuff.
Yeah. The other thing that people should know, too, is it's not just a matter of, I'm a good driver. If somebody else, it's the same deal when you're on the track. It don't matter. Insurance will not cover it.
That day that Nick and I went to California Speedway and we shot those videos, what I didn't get a chance to get any footage of was 2 Porsche 996s collided in that track that day.
Whoa, was it like a bad wreck, or was it just trading paint?
No, one of them had the entire front left side ripped off.
Oh shit!
Like fender, part of the hood, the wheel was gone. So remember I was talking to you about the penis, the dick that's like in the middle of ACS when you look down at the track?
Yes.
It's on that weird turn right there where one cut in.
Back? Yeah.
Yeah, where one cut in and the other car didn't, and bam, at 130-ish miles an hour. So
if you're on the track, guys, stay away from the other cars. You don't know how good of a driver they are.
So yeah, I am going to be videoing that. I am also going to be getting a full day's instruction with Stephen Doherty, who's one of the GT Academy winners. Also a GT4 Cup car driver. Also as a factory Nissan driver, driving some of the fastest cars on the planet. He is mine for the day. I've actually been friends with him for a while. Met him down at ACS. He's flying out here from Illinois, and he is going to be mine for the day. And there will be video, me talking with him, and in-car instruction, as well as Coconut Monkey taking video of me going around the track. So
I want to see a video of him hot lapping your car.
I already asked him as an instructor, and because he has the instructor's license, he gets to go out in my car before he instructs me. He needs to know my setup.
Dude, I would love to hear what he thinks about your setup, because I think it's legit, and I think it might even surprise him a little for what it is, right? I'm sure he's been in better balanced cars and stuff with a lot more money in them.
Dude, he drove the GT4 370 Nismo. There was a GT4 Cup Nismo car. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Okay, so that guy's going to he's going to drive your car like sipping Starbucks like this at 100 miles.
Much.
Okay.
Pretty much. He's one of the few drivers who's gotten to drive that car. Also, too, my car, and I tweeted this, is going to be getting track prep service done by a shop called Corner 3 Motorsports out in Laguna Hills. And they are going to be going through the car front to back, changing out all the fluids. We're going to be putting in race spec fluids for differential transmission oil, getting the oil cooler flush. We're also putting in very high temp brake fluid, as well as endless MX72 pads. So the car is literally getting, and I'm doing a video on that about race prep too. So Jerry, going to Dirtfish really lit a damn fire under me for car stuff again.
No, I can totally tell. Like at the end of the Dirtfish, and I'm sorry the video's not out yet, guys. I'm still doing some editing. The amount of footage on that was crazy.
It was like
Jay is a better editor than I am, miles and miles. But every minute it takes him is amplified by like 10 for me. So, but the footage we got is breathtaking. But yeah, no, I can tell at the end of the day Like just the way that you were carrying yourself, the way that you were talking, the excitement level, because you get excited, but you don't get balls to the walls ADHD excited like you did that day. At the end of the day, I could tell, like, there had to have been at least 5 times where you said at the end of the day, like, I am coming back here. I'm coming back here. Like it wasn't a matter of, hey, can we do this again? Can we talk about it? It's like, I am coming back here. And then we talked a little, and we came to the conclusion that it's only fair now for me to come down there and do some kind of a track day or something like that, because that's where you shine, right? Everybody knew going into this that I had roughly 14 days of instruction in the dirt.
And I'm not even happy I did better than anyone thought I would.
No, you kicked ass, dude. You totally kicked ass. Like, and you could tell you were pushing it. Like, you were not afraid of those cars at all. And I think that's why you progressed so fast. And plus, you were like, screw it. If I, they even told us at the beginning of the day, they said everybody's going to spin the car, right?
Yeah.
And they were right, because even at the end of the day, I even spun it once. But everybody's going to spin the car, and it's like once you realize that you could spin that car and not destroy it, it was like game on, right? Push as hard as you can.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, so. But because here's how anal I am about taking my car to the track. The track's 131 miles away where I'm going. It's in the middle of the desert. And I am so adamant about, like, I will not drive my car to the track because you never know what's going to happen. I don't want to get stranded 131 miles away. I've actually got a crew going with me. I have got one of the directors of the Fontana Nissan race shop going with me. He is going to be towing my car on his race car trailer, bringing fuel, we're bringing tools, and I have Coconut Monkey bringing his chase car, his GTI. And so I've got Nick, I've got Scott, I've got myself, I've got Stephen Doherty, as well as John from Corner 3 Motorsports is going to be out there as well, because they're part of the Nissan Challenge host and sponsor of the event. That's also going to be helping make sure that this car is, like, completely set up and ready. So this is not just me going out there. I'm so, like, I don't want anything to go wrong. I want to just worry about my skill in the car and not worry about the car itself, because this is also Nizzy's true shakedown, by the way.
Yeah. Do I need to send Volair down there?
I thought about it, but man, it would have been so expensive to get them down here. I thought about it.
It would have been, but man, that would have been glorious to have all. Like, will they let you run drones out of the track, or is that a no out there?
I have no idea. It's not a high speed track. I mean, we might only hit maybe 120 on this track, but I don't know.
I would love to see aerial of that. If somebody out there has a drone, well, just walk up to him and be like, hey, here's my email address, share some footage. Because like that's going to be awesome. But no, I cannot wait. That's one of the videos that I cannot wait for, because I know that you've built that car up so much that I think it's going to do really well down on the track. I think honestly he's going to be surprised driving that for what it is.
I hope so. Not to mention everything's adjustable. That's why we're bringing tools. So if he has a recommendation, we're just going to adjust it at the track.
Yeah. On a quick different note, you know how when we were up here, we were doing the 4-wheel drive launches in the STI. Mm-hmm. So I took Houston down with me to PDX land, and on the way back, we came up to an intersection. It was kind of cold outside.
Right.
We came up to an intersection. We did a 4-wheel launch, and I managed to brake boost the car. This is really rare. It's really hard to brake boost a clutch, right? So I managed
especially with a leak like you have.
Yep. So I let the clutch out just a little bit. I managed to get the car to build full boost at a complete standstill. And I dumped the clutch. This is the first time I've ever successfully done it in the car. It smoked all 4 tires across the entire intersection on dry pavement.
Wow.
It was freaking amazing. My heart was racing after that. And now I can't figure out how I did it to do it again.
Now, if you just, well, that kind of vindicates your terrible launch over at Mox.
It did. The Mox was horrible. But I wished I had the GoPro rolling, because I've never had that.
Guys,
car.
Jerry went to do a hard launch while leaving Mox, and completely foobarred it, right? It didn't launch. It just kind of like bogged, like, bro. And then he revs it out, and then he grinds second. He missed second entirely. It was like, brum, bum, 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 brr.
So here's what I did wrong. Is that car, like I told you, you have to let it warm up, right? Because the oil, it's got like straight weight oil in it. Yeah. And the transmission oil was really cold. But I was like, I didn't want to just sit there and idle the car for 15 minutes. So I tried to launch it out of it. And yeah, you're right. I let the clutch out, and the thing just dropped to like no RPMs, almost died, bucked twice. And then you know when you do something wrong, you get like a little embarrassed, and you like try to
So then you try to be uber cool?
I tried to be uber cool. So then I rev it up, and I try to put it in the second, and the transmission fluid wasn't warm yet. So it literally just ground the synchros. And I was so embarrassed, dude. I was just red-faced driving away. There's probably like 20 people watching.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a fun event. I'm gonna cover it as best I can, being the driver. I've got Coconut Monkey to help. So,
dude, I'm excited.
All right, man. Why don't you hit some of your fans that have sent you some love?
All right, so we got let's see, Petrus Sukyas said or Sukyas. That sounds bad. But it's Petrus. He said, "Thank you guys both for being awesome and for doing what you're doing. You rock and inspire. Share with Jay. Can't donate on gaming. I will share with you. Actually, Jay, when you came up here, hey, I did a pretty good job of whining and dining you while you're up here.
You did. You bought me coffee a lot. We went to McDonald's on the way to the airport.
We sure did." No, I took care of my boy Jay. Don't worry, guys.
I didn't get a hash brown though.
You know what you didn't get though that I kind of feel bad about is I did remember I promised you a steak dinner because all the donations we got from the previous week's show.
Yeah.
I was like, I promised you a steak dinner, and I kind of screwed you on that. I'm sorry. I'll get you a steak dinner when I come down next time.
Sorry.
Finlay said, first time catching you guys live. Thursday is my dart night. Well, we didn't want to interrupt dart night, would we? Been watching for well over a year. Keep up the great content, both of you. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hang UG said, hey, Jerry, make sure you buy Jay something fancy from Starbucks. You can't get fancy from Starbucks for Jay. He's just an upside down caramel macchiato kind of guy, which you're a dick. I had to like withdrawal from that too. I can't use the YouTube donation function because I'm not in Merca. He spelled it Merca. I love that. It is technically Merca now. No politics. Okay. Mitchell Chalker said, you're welcome. I like that. That was a great comment. Let's see. Matthew Butneo said, Shine Dwarf online tag property easier to say. Okay. Hope you guys are doing well. Glad you got the video audio worked out, even if it is by magic and pure luck. It said Frack Shine Dwarf online tag. So I guess he's Frack Shine Dwarf. If you want to find him, he's Shine Dwarf online. Let's see here. Matthew Lionel said, hey guys, do you know what let's see. Do you know what is a dang dang dang? It's a bird with short paws and huge testes. So when he lands, we can hear him scream, dang, dang, dang. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nelson.
I think it's all the new potheads in California. Oh wait, I promise. Oh wait, I said I wasn't going to do it. Never mind. I take back.
Legalize it.
It already is. It got legalized.
Yeah. Dude, toke up. Let's see.
I hate the smell of pot.
I can't stand either. We talked about this when you were up here too. It's like weed is not compatible with us. We're alcoholics instead. Hey Jerry, can't donate to Jay directly. Jay, can you update your thoughts on the Vive? Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing Jay's updated thoughts on that because he uses it more than any other person I know.
I haven't used it in forever, but I need to.
You had such a good run on that thing. Like of all the people I know that have VR, you the shit out of that. I said tested it once besides PSVR, Samsung Gear, and the Oculus, and considering to get the Vive for Christmas. Honestly, the Vive is the best out of all those. I've used them all.
But only if you can truly dedicate a big enough space to enjoy room scale.
Well, hold on, though. The one thing I will qualify with that is the head tracking on the Rift is janky. Like even when you're sitting stationary, I found that there are ways that you can move that do mess with tracking. The HTC Vive, even when you're sitting completely stationary, never seems to miss a beat.
Okay, so I've gotten to use it a lot. I've had it wig out. I've had it wig out before, where I would just be sitting there, and it usually involves like maybe someone walked in between me and one of the base stations.
Oh, gotcha.
And where suddenly like the whole world will just tilt like 45 to the left, and in VR you're just like whoa when that happens.
And that's the thing that I want to stress is go with whichever setup is more stable for the environment you're in. If you have lots of things that are going to be blocking you and moving around, then the Rift probably is the better option. Mm-hmm. But the thing I like about the Vive is that I personally didn't experience that when I was in a good, well set up room like Tribal Instincts has. And I will tell you right now, if you've never tried VR, when it hiccups, it literally messes with you. You can get motion sick. You'll pull a muscle like literally if the game stops moving while you're moving, you do a jolt thing, and I swear to God you get sore muscles from it. Let's see. He said, can you tell if you still use it regularly, or did you throw it in the corner and haven't touched it anymore? Well, for me, it's still in the box and I haven't even taken it out yet.
Yes, it has been sitting on the shelf because I have a shelf I put it on, and have not used it in a while, but not because I don't want to. I'm dying to. Because I've just been so damn busy. I use it primarily for racing sims. iRacing supports it now. It's not the cleanest integration. I'm hoping the next update will be better. But the The issue here has just really been time. Now, my daughter loves to use it. My daughter is asking all the time. There's new games out she wants to play. But I do have the Obuto Revolution racing cockpit that Jerry has been shipped to me. It should be here next week. And when I set up that, I'll be using it again. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And the entire 1080 home theater PC built I made was specifically for that. I just don't have the time I wish I had.
There's a lot of people that say that the VR is gimmicky. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are certain things that you can do on it that are kind of gimmicky. But once you find the one thing that you truly love on it, you can keep it, the replay value.
Racing sims alone for me.
Yeah, and even like the simple stuff, like there's little party games where it's like hot dogs and hand grenades, where you just pick up guns and do archery, throw grenades, shoot stuff. I can spend hours in there doing it, and it never gets old because it's such a sandbox, that you can do anything you want. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I think VR is going to replace conventional desktop gaming sometime in the next 10 years.
I can't wait for cerebral tapping.
Oh, where it's just plugged right in, your optic nerves like feeding it straight to your brain.
X-Men.
That would be cool.
Like in their what was that room called, that Dr.
Cerebrum or something like that, cerebral, something like that. Something about cerebellums. But yeah, no. I think VR is going to be the future, because think about it. If they get the resolution high enough, and they will, right? Pixel density keeps increasing. Hell, 8K screens even exist now. Once they get it to the point where it's affordable and that you have that higher resolution, think about it. You can sit in front of a laptop at a Starbucks and have 100 screens around you in every direction and all your tools laid out on desks and everything like that. It's like you literally can have your workspace anywhere you go. So I think it transcends gaming. I think the real application that's going to make VR have staying power down the road is going to be the ability to take your entire workspace with you everywhere and have it be exactly everything where you have it, touch everything, have sensors on it where it tracks your hands out in front of you. I think it's a game changer.
Virtual desktop's kind of fun, like true virtual desktop.
It is
VR.
Yep. No, I saw the demo where you can actually like bring it up and like look around and have the desktop in front of you. You can watch and have the movie like up and over the corner, like point. You can position things.
There's a thing on Steam called Big Screen Beta, which is really neat. What it is you can have virtual parties with your friends, right? Nothing sounds more basement dwelling than having virtual parties with your friends, right? But hear me out here. You can have other people in Vive, like in VR. You can see their headsets moving around, right? So you guys are in the same VR space moving around, but it's like a big screen TV in a living room setup. And you can like set up a chair or couch, whatever, and sit down on it and literally watch a movie in virtual reality with your friend and talk to each other while watching the movie. It's like you went to the theater, and they have different settings that you can do this in. Living room setting, a movie theater setting. It's actually really cool. It's literally like it almost feels like you're hanging out with that person without being able to touch them. What
was that game that a lot of people never admitted to playing, but it's stuck around forever? It was like Sims, but it was more like adult themed. Second Life. Remember Second Life? So it was basically kind of like that. Like it was a VR world. You didn't play it with a VR headset. You had your thing, but you're walking around basically first person and interacting with other people in an environment. And it was just all these random people, and you could go into clubs, you could have drinks, you could go listen to music at the nightclub, you could wander out outside, and you just met people. And it was around forever. And I think it's even still around today and people play it, but I think it's heavily become kind of a sexual fetishy kind of thing now. Hear a lot of people talking about it, but it didn't start out that way, right? I think that VR in that space is going to be huge, because think about it. The applications for this, if you're in a place, say you're working in Alaska at a fish cannery or something like that, and you're starting to get that whole kind of shut in feeling, right? You have the light problems, you have issues with not a lot of people around. I think it's kind of cool that people will be able to go into this thing and actually still be able to socialize with the spatial audio and everything like that. It should feel more like you're interacting with real people versus just.
I think we need to take it a step farther though, and to deter the level of trolling that could take place in VR like this, you actually have some kind of like a little shock sensor that goes on the headset.
There you go.
And you could literally walk up to that person and just be like zap. But then again, that might actually encourage trolling.
You know what would actually be funny is if they had in-game police and the police were actually wearing VR headsets themselves. They actually have to like run down the assailant, like handcuff and put him in the back of a virtual car and drive him down the station. And then you literally have to stay in the police station. It's like real life, one-to-one time. right? Like you have to spend a month in prison, so every time you put on the headset and you log in, you're literally just in your prison cell heckling the other people. That would be funny. Like, oh god, they have
Leisure Suit Larry VR edition. Someone, Sean in is it Sean or Shannon chat says Leisure Suit Larry.
Dude, I love Leisure Suit Larry.
I learned all about how babies are made by that game.
Let me get some of more of these comments since I got sidetracked. But man, guys, VR I think is the future. Jay, you think VR is the future?
You know, if you asked me that a year ago, I'd have been like, nope. But today, I full-heartedly am passionate about VR.
So you guys can tell us I told you so if it somehow becomes a novelty. But honestly, I think we finally hit that tipping point where
There's
it's going
way too many told you so's in this episode. If you know,
it's okay. I can handle told you so's. That's fine. They're better than the usual trolling. David Honell said, "Hey Jerry, can't donate to Jay directly. Jay, can you update your thoughts?" Oh, sorry, that's the same one on the Vive. So, anyways, you got your answer there. He also said he was concerned about the limited games coming out for it. Don't be concerned about that. You're going to see in the future a lot of developers are going to incorporate VR into the regular games themselves, and it's just going to become as natural as having a mouse or a joystick. Let's see. Christopher Mulligan said, "Have a donation, Jerry. Off I like hot curries." Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know, bro. Good to know. Let's see. Randall Jolly said, "Hey, Hobbs, you drunk yet?"
Yeah.
He'll let me know over there. Oh, and by the way, Hobbs said he'll take your Vive if you're not using it anymore.
Oh, that's what Hobbs said, huh?
Watch this little chat message. Francis Palmer said, "Nice goat. Jerry, are you going to shave it in December?" Okay, goatee. Got it. December or grow it out a while. No, I'm
doing November.
I am shaving this on December 1st because it itches so bad already. Because I'm not used to having facial hair. I am going to trim. I think I'm going to trim this and just leave the mustache because technically the no shave November is the mustache, not the rest of it. So I think I can get around that technicality and get this itchy part off. Thomas Ferry said, "I just want to say I appreciate both you guys. You two are the most genuine YouTubers out there." That's good to know. Oh, he's so nice. Wow, somebody donated an odd number, $6.90. Michael Cox said,
It
"Hey
was
Jerry."
their PayPal balance.
Oh, got it. "Hey Jerry, what can a skinny woman do for you?"
Whoa.
Whoa there, dude. Whoa.
Make a wish.
I'm just gonna keep that one up here, okay? She can make me a sandwich. I would
make a wish. That's sexist. You can't say that. You have to go into your safe zone.
I don't know. She can make me a program in like C#. I don't know, whatever. Mitch said,
"Why do you assume she's a she?"
Oh God! See now, yeah. This is a slippery slope.
See, when you say the things the internet type, but you say them out loud, you realize how stupid they sound.
I know. Now by the internet, I'm probably like a skinny shaming, sexist, racist. Oh wait, what's the other one? Not entitled. What is it? Privileged white man.
I will confirm it.
Kyle Mitchell said, "Hey fellows, I'm not very knowledgeable about audio hardware. When I was watching Dimitri's HD6XX review, he started talking about impedance and I was completely lost. Plans to make an audio beginner series. I actually want to go a little bit deeper into audio myself and learn a lot of it. What he's talking about with impedance is basically the resistance on basically how much power it takes.
It's measured in ohms.
Power to volume, right? The more ohms you have, the more power you need to achieve the same level of sound. I mean, more or less. So the higher ohms generally on the headphones usually means the higher quality, the larger magnets, the more bass reproduction. The lower ohm stuff tends to be more on the side of not as powerful, can't produce that same low end bass punch and stuff like that. Although the one thing that really freaks me out is I started listening to some of the 50 ohm like Sennheisers, like the 373Ds.
That shit's voodoo right there.
I don't understand how that works because you put it on.
The 373D is probably one of the most amazing gaming headsets I've heard yet.
Yeah, the volume on the USB dongle. I'm having some volume issues with the USB dongle, but Sennheiser already told me that they know what the problem is and they're working.
Not me. I have to turn mine down.
Yeah, see, I plugged mine in directly. Like I put the adapter cable on it from the game once and plugged it right into the mix amp, and the level of bass and treble I was getting off it was remarkable. It was like on par with my 600 ohm headphones, and I don't really understand how they're doing that, but basically you're getting a massive punch and a massive amount of sound off of something that's as powerful as an iPhone. Basically, it's crazy. So, but yeah, no. As far as the audio series, I want to do a lot more educational stuff because I'll be honest, guys, I used to be an intellectual 2 years ago when I worked at Microsoft, and I found that doing YouTube and making videos and just kind of focusing on having fun and stuff, I've gotten rusty, and I don't like being rusty. So I will be diving back deep into stuff like audio, video, programming. Some of the content creation, the 3D printing stuff. I want to get more into the kind of low level side of it, like updating the firmwares and playing around and actually doing some of my own firmware hacks and stuff like that. So expect it. And the Arduino stuff, the integrated programming is something that I really want to start doing, because I want to create all kinds of little gizmos and devices around my house that can actually help me do my job better. And I thought, what better way to do that than for me to actually ground up write the software for this hardware and stuff like that. What about you, Jay? You got any? Do you want to do any of these educational things on audio and stuff?
No, I'm just not passionate enough about audio to even bother stepping into that arena. That's a brutal arena.
It is. Oh God,
that's an extreme. Okay, not like PCs are any better, but that is an extremely opinionated. If you think different than me, then you're a jackass type of arena to be in.
Yeah. And audio files, you're absolutely right. Audio files are some of the most opinionated people ever. I got in an argument with a guy online, and I'll call it an argument. It was not a debate. It was an argument with somebody who was trying to explain to me what digital jitter was. I'm not even shitting you. He was trying to tell me about how light wavelength traveling through a Toslink cable in a cheap Toslink cable can actually create a vibration that affects the sound on a digital circuit.
See,
what comes from the source is exactly the same at the end.
Look,
I know,
I'm
right?
going to say something that's not very politically correct, but that's okay.
Do it.
Typically, the audiophile is a fairly well-off person when it comes to income. They tend to make a decent amount of money, because if you want to really get into true audiophile grade stuff, you're talking some pretty pricey componentry here.
Yeah.
These are people who also have a very much of a God complex. They might be their rich friend, right? They might be the rich friend of the group. They might live in a really nice neighborhood. They might feel very entitled, and they also might feel that they've earned this status position to where their opinion is what you should take, and their opinion only. And when you push back against that mentality, especially on the internet, they take offense to it, like, oh my God, how dare you not believe what I say? Now, people accuse me of that all the time, which just simply isn't true. But with the audiophile crowd, it is, I feel like it's exacerbated in a different way, because of you're dealing with people that are not only, one, defending a lot of opinion as fact, but two, defending extremely expensive purchases.
Yeah.
It's something I've studied on the side. My friend's a psychologist, and it's something I've studied with him and talked about a lot. And it's just a weird psychology that goes along with audio files that's different than any other kind of file. It's really weird.
I consider myself on the light side of audiophile, because I am an audio enthusiast, but I'm not to the point like what you just described. Those people absolutely exist. And the other thing that really sucks about it is you said that, there's also the trolls out there that won't agree with you in technology. But here's the thing, when you're looking at stuff like computers, is you can prove you're right. You can literally just turn on the computer, run a benchmark, run a test, check the firmware, take some readings. You can say definitively, I am right.
There's a level of subjective opinion in audio that you cannot prove.
You cannot prove, because it's like you can put on 6 different pairs of headphones that have the exact same drivers connected to the same amp, and you will find an audio file that will tell you which one is better than the others based on some kind of acoustic nature of the pressure, barometric pressure between the ear and the cups. And it's like, I'm not saying that there isn't a difference, but it becomes personal preference rather than fact.
Quick story. I was at CES a couple years back, and I went into the Sennheiser booth, put on the HD800s that they had hooked up to like a $50,000 vacuum tube amp thing, right?
Oh, are you talking about the Orpheus? Was this the Orpheus?
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the HD800. That's like next level, dude. The
Okay.
HD800 is like $1,300. The Orpheus is like $50,000.
Okay, yes, that's the one. Because I remember I got the email like, hey, come check this out, right? Sennheiser was like, hey, come look at this. And I tried them. And of course, I put them on, and I'm listening to them. And their HD800s were next to them. That's why I was getting confused. They had them side by side, right? Yeah. So you're talking like a $50,000 piece of equipment hooked up to it was like another $20,000 or $30,000 amp, right? The whole thing was like, you could buy a house.
It's a package deal. Yeah, the headphones and the amp and everything. It's like they're paired. They're designed from the ground up to just work together.
So I put them on, and I'm listening to them. And I take them off, and I put on the HD800s, and I listen to them. And then I take the Orpheus, whatever they are, and I put them back on, and I'm listening. And the Sennheiser rep comes up to me and says, so what did you think? And I was like, I can't tell the difference. They looked at me like I was trash.
Dude, yeah.
He literally, in his mind, I curb stomped a puppy. Okay? I'm serious. That the way he looked at me, and how at that point, now here's the thing. I could tell that there was a difference. But I couldn't tell you what the difference was. I'm not enough of an audio expert to know what I'm hearing. And I could tell there was a difference, but I could tell you I preferred the HD800s.
Yep.
And they looked at
that you just made that point is that it's highly subjective. Some people I've had listen to like these, like we love these, right? The little Sonys. These little studio monitors, they cost like $50 to $100 depending on what kind of deal you get on, but they sound amazing. They're very comfortable on the ear. But I've had people actually put these on before and say, oh my god, these sound like total crap compared to my AKGs or whatever. And it's like I put on the AKGs and I'm like, I actually like the sound of these better.
Yeah. I have a friend that has $120,000 ribbon speaker set up like in his house, right, for surround or whatever.
Yeah, planar magnetic stuff. That stuff's nuts.
Yeah, it's like super narrow it's like flush mounted on the wall. The first time he showed me, he's like, dude, check this out. And he's like playing it and he's like cranking it and he's got the music going and stuff. And I'm just like, cool.
You're like, my Logitech Z5500s kill this thing.
Yeah, my Logitech 602s. No, it's a mouse. Whatever.
Hey, just fun fact: you will get murdered if you mention the word Logitech in the presence of an audio file, like literally, or Alltech Lansing, post 2005.
Alltech Lansing.
No, they used to make badass stuff, but then they I don't know what happened, but they started making garbage.
Nah, man, it's all about JBL.
JBL, dude, JBL. Actually, I'm not even joking. My favorite headphones of like during my teenage years, where the ones that went behind your neck.
Yeah.
Like not over your head. I had those. These JBLs that were like, I want to say they were like $50 at Circuit City or whatever. I used to wear those things, dude. They produced bass that nothing else. They were like the Beats by Dre of that day. The audio sucked, but the bass on them was just nasty
Was
good.
it Beats by Jay-Z?
Probably a Beats by JBL, but they were epic. All right.
Well, JVC owns all, so I'm just saying.
We digress. Robert Ensenhuth said, finally made it live. Hey, congratulations. What would be better for my budget for surround 1080p gaming? A GTX 1060 or a GTX 1070? Well, obviously the 1070.
1080. If he wants to run 3 panels, get a 1080.
That's true. I would get the 1080 for running 3 panels. Surprisingly, though, a single 980 Ti doesn't do bad.
Depends on the game.
Like, it depends on the game. It does depend on the game. But yeah, no, the 10 series cards, they're all fantastic. But the 1060 is pretty, like, the difference between the 1060 and the 1070 is more than from the 1070 to the 1080, correct? Like for CUDA cores and stuff, isn't the 1060 significantly lower?
It's a whole different core.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, if you're gonna do the 1070 if those are the only two options, but if you can swing it, get the 1080.
You're not gonna fire up hardly any games with 1080p surround, right? 5960 by 1080 is what I believe the resolution is, or 5760 by 1080. You're not going to fire up a single game at that resolution on a 1060 and have a good experience.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your answer. And he said, let's see. And I can't read the second half. I'm sorry, because we're not talking about political stuff tonight.
No politics.
No politics.
Other than what's already slipped out.
Yeah, I know, right? We're trying really hard. Hold on, I lost my little pointer here. Oh, there we go. Let's see. João Pedro. Oh my God. I don't know how many words are in this guy's name. João Pedro Azevedo Oliveira Marquise Fidalgo. That's his name. I'm not making this up.
Sounds like royalty.
He is. Like, that's six words in his name. Hi there, Jerry, and thank you for your dedication. Love your videos and completely understand your emotional situation. Thank you. Not a lot of people do. And completely understand he completely understands it. Okay, I think we both need to try to be a bit more Jay-ish. Ran out of fucks to give. Love you guys. And donation. Here's the thing is, guys. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to out Jay.
But I care about different things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to out Jay just a little bit on that one, and that is, Jay does a really good job at not caring publicly. He is a human being, guys. He is not cold. He is not dead inside. I get so many people that like message me, Jay, and they're like, dude, like Jay, no, you just got to be like him and just like be cold and not even care and give zero fucks. And I'm like, dude, you guys don't know Jay. Jay gives fucks. He just doesn't give fucks to everybody. This sounds really bad.
No, I'm just kidding. I have limited amount of energy to give on the things that I care about, so I give them only to the things I care about.
That's right, but you are human inside. People need to realize that just because you have that Terminator exterior every once in a while doesn't mean that you're not like soft and gooey inside. Let's see. Monty said, hey guys, my name is Monty Shiraz. Says, you guys make awesome content. I have an extreme level of respect for you both. Here's $15. Thank you. I also have a question. I do a lot of audio editing and I use Pro Tools 11. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with that software suite. He said, I use a lot of plugins and I'm considering buying a 6950X for my next workstation build. Is it worth it to justify the cost? First, check and see how multi-threaded Pro Tools is.
I've done a lot of work in Adobe Audition. with my 6950X, and I don't. There's no load. I don't know.
Pro Tools is completely different though. Adobe doesn't make Pro Tools, right?
No, but I'm just saying I've done audio editing, and I don't see it's not a very huge load. I mean, like I could take a 15-minute clip and just do some sort of an EQ to it or a little remastering.
Yep.
And a 15-minute audio clip, and it takes like 10 seconds to work that file.
Well, the difference is though, is Pro Tools isn't an audio editor so much as it's like mastering music with it's like a multi-tracker, I believe, that has like all the instruments and everything in it. And you're working with uncompressed audio. That probably ups it significantly. I mean, if he's complaining, I have to imagine that it's taking a while if he's thinking about upgrading his processor.
I guess. What did he say? What he has now?
No, he didn't actually. Let's see. Yeah, he just said Pro Tools 11, a lot of plugins, and I'm considering buying a 6950. Well, he does say a lot of plugins, so I have to assume that a lot of plugins would mean that he's running some stuff that's probably pretty
Your
high.
phone's ringing.
It's okay, somebody will answer it. Pup Shepherd,
the butler or the maid?
the maid. Dude, the butler don't answer the phone. Pup Shepherd said, "Happy birthday from Pup. Wish you another year of happiness. If you ever get sad, you can always adopt a puppy, ladies." I get it, Pup Shepherd. I can adopt you. Yeah, Pup, you want to come live with me? Like if you promise to clean my garage, I'll let you come live with me. Noah Griggs, I like that name for some reason. Griggs. Hey Jerry, love your videos. Are you ever going to water cool your personal PC? No, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's a lot of work. I've watched Jay and what he does, and it's a lot of work. Even for somebody who knows what they're doing, it's a lot of work.
What, water cooling?
Water cooling. It is, dude. Don't even try to tell me it's not. Like putting a fan on plug-in is so much easier than like bending tubing and hoping.
Come on, when I installed my 6950X, I showed what I had to go through just to swap a CPU.
Dude, even my shitty water-cooled build that I did with the flexible tubing, every time I changed the graphics card, I'd have to put a cookie sheet in the bottom of the thing to catch the liquid because no matter what I did, it would come pouring out of somewhere.
Well, that's because you built it.
I know, right? Okay, I think I'm almost getting to the end here. Let's see. Derek Senator said, I like to say Senator. Hey, Jerry, love your content. Will you be watching the new show, The Grand Tour, on Amazon? Does a bear shit in the woods and wipe his ass with a white rabbit and then kiss a toad on the mouth? Yes, absolutely. And Jay, wow. You're a liar if you're saying you're not watching that. I know you are.
Is it already out?
19th is the first episode. I can't wait.
Oh. Well, I doubt I will watch it on the 19th because I have a lot going on that day, and that's the day before I go to the track. But I guarantee that I will watch it.
Dude, did you see the trailer to that thing though? They look like
hilarious. They look old.
They look old. They do legitimately look old. I like how Richard.
James is all buff.
Yep.
And then Richard's like freaking all gray.
No. Richard like dyed everything. He's completely like not a spot of gray, but you can tell it's dyed. It's like heavily. But no. When I saw the
James May is the short one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, no. Richard's the short one. James May is the.
But did you notice how Richard obviously like hit the gym after they had all that downtime? Because he's like buff now. What the hell?
And he's even got like the goatee thing going on. Everything. Totally took that short man complex to the max. But no. I absolutely cannot wait for that. That's probably my most anticipated program ever because I watched every Top Gear UK episode at least 5 times. And it looks like Amazon has more money than God, and they threw it at this thing. Mm-hmm. It looks like a blockbuster production, so I'm super excited. As long as my only fear, and I don't think this is really going to be a problem, but my only fear is that Amazon is going to try to take it too far and try to make it too professional. Like from watching the video, it looked like it was almost like a movie, and not a TV.
But I thought that's what I thought it was like a documentary.
It is, but I just don't know. I hope that fits well with the guys' personalities. From what I saw, it will. But it's so different than the just off the cuff BBC production. I hope that it's not overly nerfed. I hope that they can still be the crazy America hating people that they were before. Because if that all goes away, I'm going to be like, okay, this kind of sucks. Let's see. Emmanuel Perez said, "Hey guys, I tuned in late, so I missed the first half of the stream. Don't worry, it's recorded. Speaking of cars, I mentioned my Z31 300ZX before, and I actually got it running. Good for you. I took your approval and filmed how it went about fixing it. I am no mechanic nor a film student, though. Thank you for your content both, and love you guys." No, that's awesome. You don't have to be a film student. Just when in doubt, get lots of footage. That's what I found, because then you can do lots of creative stuff in editing. Like the vlogs that I do. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, the vlogs that I do, the reason why they're better now is because I don't have just 50. Hey, what's up, Xander?
Hey there.
You want to come say hi real quick?
Yeah.
There, look at the camera right there. Say hi, Internet.
Hi, Internet.
Okay, now go back downstairs. You know you're not supposed to be in here.
So, dude.
What's up, dude? All right, tell Mama I love her, and I'll be down for dinner in a little bit. All right, love you, buddy. It's funny. He just comes like wandering in here. He's not supposed to. He's been like really deceptive lately. But back on point, when you're shooting video, the more video that you have, the more that you can completely change the story to something completely different in editing. If you don't have a lot of video, you can't do that.
What I was going to say is I've had a lot of people come at me lately. Not come at me, but come and write me saying, hey, I do professional editing of this. Hey, I do professional audio remastering. Hey, I do professional, and I see a lot of mistakes. Like they want to say, I see a lot of mistakes in what you do, and they want to offer their services to help. And I don't respond or take those services because the nice thing about YouTube is there is no right or wrong way to do this.
Yeah,
and you cannot just take necessarily what's applied as the fundamentals and just say you have to do it this way. That's why it was called YouTube to begin with. It's you putting up what you want the way you want it to be. And by the time I edit a video and I put it up, it's never 100% exactly as I want it, but it's close enough to where I'm happy with presenting to you the piece of content in which I have created. So don't feel like a lot of pressure of it has to be this or it has to meet this status quo to be considered a good video, because you determine whether or not it's a good video.
Yeah, and the thing is if you're this is one thing I tell everybody that gets into YouTube: don't be a perfectionist. Don't.
Yeah.
Just I know it's really hard because I've done it myself, Jay. I'm sure you've done it on certain things. It's really hard to not be a perfectionist when you're creating something like that. But realize that a lot of the reason why people watch your content is because they like the strange little quirky twists and stuff that you put on things.
A lot of people have backed away from channels because they got too professional.
That's exactly where was I headed, Jay?
Yeah.
I'm going back to my roots, baby, and it's been working great. The channel stats have like nearly doubled in the last like 2 weeks just because now I'm making stuff like I used to, like how I like it. And
I'm glad you waited till after I passed you to get back on board.
Yeah, right.
You got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, hey Jay, I've been watching your stats though. You're still running away from me. I got my work cut out for me to catch up. You're still like I don't know what kind of like weed you sprinkled on your videos. Oh my god, bro.
I think he's talking about like growing like a weed and not pot, I think.
I'm totally talking about that. Wait, we both live in legal states. Never mind. That's exactly what I was talking about. Anyways, David Honell said, following up on the HTC Vive questions, I got about 2.2 by 3 meters of space. So I think a meter is about what, like 3 feet ish. So
3.3 feet.
Wow, that's a decent space. Okay, so it's like what, 8 by 10 ish.
I think it's 3 by 3 feet.
Let's see. Which according to Reddit Vive Wiki rules out a couple of games. A chair in the room needs more spaces. I tested a driving simulator on the game room earlier. Yeah, the thing is with the Vive is a lot of the games do require you to have a decent amount of space. But even if the game does require you to have a decent amount of space, doesn't necessarily mean it does. I played a couple games where you could move outside of an area, but you didn't necessarily have to. You could find other ways around it. But no, that seems like a pretty decent space. I think you'd be all right.
The one thing that does suck about room scale is that when you're walking towards something, you really do forget about your true reality environment.
Yes.
And then when the chaperone grids pop up, it's a little bit disturbing. But what I love is when I go into a small space in VR, like a chair in a room, there was a lot of tight things that you had to do. What I loved is sometimes the chaperone grid was the exact same size as the VR space that I was in, so I could move freely in there.
And that's a cool feeling. That's a really cool sensation for sure. And even in like the demo, the portal repair demo or whatever?
Yeah, the robot repair.
Yeah, it's really cool to just be able to walk around the room and just freely interact with stuff.
Because that robot repair thing where you have to build the robot, and it's like impossible to fix it every time you fail because it's a human experiment. It's the exact size I have upstairs for that.
Dude, that's awesome. But don't let that detour you. I think that over time, developers are always going to develop for the most popular platform. That's how they are, right? And not everybody is going to have their VR experience in a giant room. So I think you're going to start seeing it be more common, at least in the first party titles, that people are going to have alternate ways to move around through like teleporting and stuff like that, so that you don't have to take up a lot of space, but you can still choose to use that space if you have it. So I wouldn't discount. I'd say even if you have my room right here, the Nerd Cave, I'm installing the HTC Vive in here, and I probably only have about, I'm going to say a 9 by 9 foot area that I could really, reasonably use without smacking my head on the ceiling and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know, with your desk and your chair and stuff, I'm not sure because you also have that ceiling slope to account for.
Well, this room's a 15 by 15. And no, you're right. That's another thing that I would have a problem with is reaching for stuff near the outer periphery. I am going to punch the ceiling, so I'm going to have to figure out.
I removed a ceiling fan entirely from the upstairs living room simply because I was like, oh, I'll remember that it's there. Like the first time I played it was like, like tried to break the thing with my hand.
Can you actually set the chaperone too for a vaulted ceiling, or does it just hard walls?
It's just hard walls.
Damn it.
Yeah, you
So
don't get to do anything about the ceiling.
I'll figure it out when I get there. Charles Rivas said, Jerry and Jay, love you guys. You guys are awesome. I was wondering why there is such a disparity between the views and the likes in YouTube videos. One thing that caught my eye is while using my iPad Pro, I noticed when I liked a video, and if I rotate the landscape or back to vertical, it would take away the highlighted like and it would go back to gray. I also came across it while refreshing the comment session was also reverse the like back to gray. Do you guys think that since a lot of people are using iPads and are watching YouTube on it, do you think that is affecting the ratio between the likes and the views, or is this an isolated issue with the like system in YouTube? I want to make sure.
Oh, good.
He said, I want to make sure that when I like a video, it's actually happening. I have seen several instances where I watched the whole video and liked it and then watched it a second time. The like I gave is no longer highlighted. Okay, one thing I will tell you there is the like, when you push the like button on the iPad, it is literally sending up an Ajax call to something called an Ajax call to the server, and the server is registering that like. What you're seeing when you're turning the screen is that the local software is basically forgetting what the local setting was. That like is absolutely being registered.
I want to talk about some of the analytic questions he had.
Yeah, go ahead.
About likes, why there's so many views and so little likes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural reaction for a viewer to just watch it and then move on. Usually the only time somebody will hit a like button or a dislike button is if something happened during that video that really triggered an emotional response, whether it be positive or negative. In fact, part of the YouTube University thing that I took, right, amongst some other YouTubers that were much bigger than me when I first started growing, is they all said, in fact, Boogie told me this. He's like, I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's good or if it's bad. Make them feel something and they will respond to the video, whether it be a comment, a like, or a dislike.
Yeah.
Or
Your video is
share.
proof of that. The video that you just did is absolute proof of that with the 80,000 likes, right? Why is that ratio so high?
You know what's ironic about that video? The video was about trying to get the silent majority to stop being silent, not necessarily on that video. I even said in that video, like, I don't care if you push a like or dislike button on this video. I didn't care. I didn't tell people or ask people to like the video. But look how many people did. 80,000 people liked the video, which is, I've never had a video have that many likes. If I hit 10,000 likes in a video, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Look at the I built a computer for my friend video. Isn't that like over 22,000 likes, 23,000 likes, something like that? Usually only when you felt some sort of a deep connection with the video do people take the time to do that. Now, of course, there are your hardcore followers that are like, I'm going to click like on everything. Like the video goes up. You know, what's funny is you always hear people call out those that hit dislike before the video could have possibly been watched, right? It's a 15-minute video. The video's been up 3 minutes and it has 3 dislikes. People are like, how could you have possibly disliked it? On the flip side, you could say, how could anyone have possibly liked it?
Right. And it goes both ways. And the other thing too, just to give you a frame of reference, right now I'm looking at my most liked video. Okay. This is the most liked video, and you can probably guess which one it is. The game room, right?
Yeah.
The room tour. 2.7 million, no, almost 2.8 million views. Guess how many likes it has? Without looking.
30,000.
34,000 likes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't look. You know why you know why I said that? Because
Why?
there's a formula that I had figured out a long time ago when it comes to the interactions of social media versus views. Typically, your like button will be approximately 10-ish%, anywhere between 9 to 10% of the views. And next time you put up a Jerry video, next time you put up a video Jerry watches, put it up, go to your channel, just keep hitting refresh, and you'll notice that if it has 1,000 views, it'll have 100 likes. If it has 10,000 views, it'll have 1,000 likes. Like that's the way the formula tends to kind of go on the norm.
That's the norm. Okay.
It's about 10%, and you can almost see it go up real time, right? It'll have 700 views and 70 likes. That's the way it's always been for me and a lot of people. Now, let's parse this down more to social media. You tend to have approximately 10% of your subscribers be social media followers on Twitter. So if you have a channel with 1 million subscribers, you tend to have somewhere around 100,000 followers on Twitter, unless you do something on Twitter that gets a lot of people that want to follow you, giveaways and stuff like that. So if we're talking purely organic, it's about a factor of 10. you typically will have about 10% of the people that follow you on Instagram also click. Actually, I take that back. It's about 5% of Instagram followers will actually click like on an Instagram photo. So, with the exception of Instagram and the amount of followers there, it's a weird factor of 10. And I've just noticed that across the board. And it's been that way from day one for me. Now, he asked about traffic sources.
Yes.
And whether or not people watching on mobile are going to, if we think that bug is causing an issue. I'm looking at my analytics right now. 57% of my, or I'm sorry, 60% of my views come from a computer. 30% of them come from a mobile phone. 6.3% of them come from a tablet. 2.1% come from a TV. 1.7% come from a console, and 0.3% come from unknown. So I don't know what unknown would be. That's just over the last 28 days. So I've said all along, about a third of the viewers usually are on some sort of mobile platform. Those likes obviously do count. But to be fair, a lot of people don't sign in to their Google accounts or YouTube accounts from their devices, so they're probably not going to click it anyway. So there's a third of the likes gone right there.
And that's the thing too, is like the reason why you got so many likes on that one video is, like you said, people are watching that because they watch you. That's a resonating video. Those are going to be people that actually follow you, subscribe to you, implying that they have an account. A lot of the videos that we create, people just organically find them without even being logged in. They're just opening the web browser.
The like button on that video wasn't an I like this video. It was an I'm supporting like, is what that was. And it wasn't even intended. It really wasn't. And like I said in that video, I didn't care if they were liked or disliked. I wasn't even gonna deal with it. Didn't care. But they surprised me. And then the videos following that, I have noticed a severe uptick in positive comments and likes on the videos following, which is good because you have to search. My friend that I gave a computer to, he was super nervous. He was really nervous that the internet was going to beat him up, like be mean to him, because the amount of people that said stupid shit like, he doesn't deserve to have a computer because of how dusty it is. This guy doesn't deserve to have a computer. Meanwhile, he's out building a fucking school for group home kids to have a gateway to college. You got the internet over here telling him he doesn't deserve to have a computer because it's dusty, right? So he's just like, that's messed up. Why would people say this stuff? And he doesn't live on the internet like I do, so he doesn't realize just how shitty people are on the internet. So he was really worried in this video. He's like, man, I'm worried. I'm shaking. Like when the video went live, he was like, he said he watched the video and he was shaking because he was expecting nothing but troll comments. Like, he's fat, or he blah, blah, blah. Like just being mean to him, right? He was shocked that there was so much support, but also being on the heels of that video where I said, stop being the silent majority. The point of that video came across and it worked. You have to dig deep to find a hurtful comment, because the loud majority stood up on that one and was being supportive, to where the trolls were literally just stomped into the ground, which is all I wanted people to realize. That's what the silent majority is about. Be the loud majority, and then the minority out there that want to be the haters, they're not nearly as noticed. And that's all that matters.
I'm going to adopt and spread that message myself, because you make a very valid point there, and that is, a lot of the positivity has always been greater than the hate, but it's never been greater to a degree that it drowns it out almost entirely.
It did. It drowned it out entirely.
And it should be. That's exactly it. It should be. If the number of people that liked what you did were vocal in a positive way versus the people that were negative in equal quantities, that it would be less. It would be a fraction of 1%. Like it'd be a fraction. But we don't see it that way, because the people that like stuff, they're just like, well, we watched your video. We like what you produce. We don't want to get involved beyond that. But the trolls, they will always get, you don't see a troll go, I don't really feel like logging in to leave a comment. I mean, they want to troll. That's what they do.
Trolls have multiple comments and will oftentimes perpetuate arguments with themselves to get it going.
Yeah. I've also seen trolls like literally just try to start a fire in the comments just so they can fight with other people. Not necessarily you or me.
Yeah.
They're just trying to pick a fight with a group of people that are focused on what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're just getting an audience, and so the less of an audience that you give to them, the more positivity that's out there. Their message isn't going to get seen nearly as much. So that's how you anti-troll. You anti-troll by just being positive. That's all you got to do. Proactively be positive, and trolls die.
Exactly.
Horrible, terrible.
We're 5 minutes past. What else you got?
Jeez, bro. Let's see. I've got.
See, at least yours, you can still like write a response to him too.
Yeah, do you want to just go through? I've got like 3 more, but I can let you just do yours, then reply to these ones.
No, mine were when I switched to you, mine were cut off for the show because there's just too many guys. I'm eternally grateful for the level of support you guys show with the donations, but I have to make a change, otherwise Jerry and I will never get through a show.
Let's we'll talk about this offline through the next week. find an alternative way to do this because at the same time, we love that you're supporting us because we need, quite frankly, this is our job. We need the support, but we need to do it in a way where it's not too invasive to the show because we're spending about, I would say, half to 3/4 of the show reading comments, which a lot of the comments are actually really good and they're questions that people want to know anyways. Yeah. But still, at that rate, we're kind of getting away from what we used to do, and that is Jay and I are literally having our weekly chat session in front of you guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's usually what Tech Talk is. I know we call it Tech Talk, but that's what it really is.
Well, I called it Tech Talk because I was talking tech with the audience when I started the show. Once you hopped in around like episode 30-ish, it just turned into like shit talk. Jay
Hutt Network Solutions said, "Hi Jerry, TiVo finally lets me watch you guys on TV live. I didn't know TiVo had a YouTube app. That's cool. You guys need to do more racing sim vids. I know. I need to still build. I'm going to just stop saying it.
Well, because I'm doing VR now, I don't have an easy way to capture it.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Jay is getting the same racing simulator I have. He's going to have an Oboto Revolution sitting in there. He's got the same driving gear as me now, all the Fanatic stuff. So basic.
And then I'm still getting those hydraulic pedals too.
And you're getting the hydraulic pedals, which, they're not the same as what I have, but it'll put you in the similar bracket. We have basically matched simulators. So there is no reason for me to not get in there and start training because there's going to be no excuses. It's just going to be better man wins. And it's going to force me to get good at it. And
I already do win at the simulators.
You do win at the massively. Yeah, that's all. You walk me hard in those things. Let's see. He said, I have an RC RS1 and full Fanatic pedals, wheels, and shifter. Anyhow, question for you. Do you do any programming in Python? No, actually. He said, I'm in information securities and it was recommended by a presenter to learn Python. Actually, it is a very good language to learn. What's your thoughts on this? And thank you for you guys that tried. I tried an upside down caramel macchiato. Thanks a lot. Damn you guys. Don't let stupid people get you down. Keep up the good work. Jay's a dickhole. Lol. Yeah. So Python. Back to Python. Python is a language that I do not presently know, but I really want to learn. It's very high up on the list because it's incredibly cross-platform. It's fairly intuitive, as I understand it, and it's very, very powerful for the amount of code that you have to write to achieve a goal, which is something that gives you instant gratification, and that's something that I'm definitely interested in. How about you, Jay? Do you have any? I'm curious. Do you have any aspirations to get into software development at any point?
No.
You're just going to be the hardware guy?
Yeah, I mean, I never felt like I had the patience for coding.
That's the funny thing is, do you take me as a patient person?
No, but I feel like I know you have adult ADHD, but everyone who has ADHD has that calming, like something calms them. Like for my daughter doesn't have ADHD, but she definitely does have a hyperactive disorder, which you have seen. There are things that calms her down. And for her, it's like she likes to do those really intricate coloring books that require like special pens because they're so detailed. Like that will calm her down. That's just what coding is for you.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. Everything else I do in life is very, very fast, instant gratification based. Coding is the one thing where I can sit down and just get lost in it for days and just lose track of time and everything. It's amazing. But yeah, back to the Python though, definitely learn it. I think Python's an amazing language. The only thing my only gripe with Python is that it's not technically a C syntax language, which means if you are a C developer, C#, C, C++, you're going to have some adaptation issues. I had the same thing when I went from Pascal to C, for instance, or Visual Basic to C. That's the only thing I would anticipate. But if you're not doing a lot of programming to begin with and you're just getting into it, yeah, go Python. Python, I think, is going to be around forever. Mm-hmm. And then the last one I have is just from Sean. Sean just donated, didn't say anything. Sorry, that wasn't the last one. So here we go. This is the last real one. Craig Grainstorm said, "Hey, Jerry, finally upgraded to an Acer 1440 monitor. Good call. My setup is a 6700K. That's a really popular processor, by the way. 16 gig DDR4 Corsair Predator and a single Zotac 1070. After playing with the OC on the Zotac, I'm still having issues with choppiness and WoW. Any suggestions?" WoW is ancient.
No. I can take this one because I have 2 Titan Pascals on water and still sometimes even on a 1440p X34 Predator with a 10-core 20-thread CPU overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. still deal with frame drops in Warcraft at some, like I was doing some Mythic Pluses last night. Yeah, okay, I know I'm making myself sound like a complete dork here. I've been enjoying Warcraft again. Leave me alone. I still get my work done. Don't judge me.
Dude, he even tried to play that shit when he was up here on his laptop. I'd
No, I just logged in and was doing my emissary world quests and stuff. Leave me alone. Anyway, the game. Okay, here's what you have. You have a game that is over 10 years old, 12 years old now.
Yeah.
2004. That has been patched and patched and patched and patched as technologies have improved. When the game came out, guys, it was DX8. DirectX 8. Okay? And you have a game that's made, that source code has not changed. It is not incredibly efficient. If you bring up your monitor, your hardware monitor, but you Control Alt Delete and go to performance and look at the CPU usage, usually there's only 1 or 2 cores that are maxed and they bounce around, like the affinity on them. It's just not coded for hyperthreading properly. So you can throw all the GPU power you want at it. You can throw all the CPU power you want on it. It's just not optimized because the game is so damn popular, they can't just simply rewrite it from the ground up. So you're dealing with code that is unoptimized, that was designed for 12-year-old hardware. And although they have made graphical changes, like the new world, like Legion is freaking beautiful. Yeah. But it still doesn't change the way that the code works and the way it impacts the CPU to where the GPU is not taking on a huge amount of that load. It's just the game is not optimized anymore.
And I can see why that's so frustrating. Like that's same thing with Flight Simulator X. You know, everybody that knows anybody that's into planes plays Flight Simulator X. That's like the gold standard and has been for years, right? Yeah. And you see these people, it's like they got 2 Titans in their system, multi-core, everything, and they can't run the thing at 1080p.
There was a winning comment in chat I have to read.
Read it.
It looks like Ben B, right? He's got like leet spelling. He says, "I used to play WoW. Then a girl showed me her vagina."
That's good. Yeah. Oh, probably accurate. Sad.
Yeah. So anyway, don't sweat it, man. Don't beat yourself up. WoW beats up computers. It just does.
Actually, you did him a favor. You probably saved him a lot of money because his next step probably would have been to like get a 1080 or a Titan or something like that, and it wouldn't have done any.
I saved him a lot of headache trying to tweak it to find out. Okay, the only thing I can really recommend, like you could set the overall quality to 10. But then set your view distance down to like 5. Because you can't fly in Legion. Okay, we're going to the WoW talk. Since you can't fly in Legion, you don't need that level of view distance anyway. So just set the view distance down to 5, and you'll see your FPS come up a ton. So anyway,
you know, right now he's like, damn it, I wish I had to talk to Jay before I bought all that stuff. Oh man,
it's still fun to have all that stuff. So
like it probably runs the same on like a 386 SX16 with like a Trident 8900C ISO graphics card. See, I just really dated myself right there.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, are we ready to run the outro?
Yeah, let's roll the outro so I can go eat some food because I'm hungry.
I am starving. I just realized I have not eaten today.
Time to eat.
All right, the outro's going.
Thank you for watching Tech Talk 133. The Terry Crews project is beginning, which we didn't really talk about that
much.
We
didn't even talk about that. Oh shit.
I know. Hey, wait. Here, stop the outro. Stop.
Okay, all right. Stop it. Okay.
Let's pretend that didn't happen, guys. Jay, tell us.
Guys, welcome to Tech Talk number 133. We're just going to start the show over, okay?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So, no, we talked about how long it took for him to respond to me because how busy he is working on TV shows and multiple movies and doing charity stuff. I am going to be visiting his downtown office on Tuesday.
So jelly.
I'm going to bring in my equipment, and he and I are just going to be goofing off in front of the camera, talking PCs and stuff. So, yeah, dude, literally.
Are you going to be like just shaking? Like, is it?
No, I talked about this with my wife. I've met quite a few celebrities because being in LA area, you know, we've run into people all the time. I don't get nervous like that. I don't get starstruck. I don't get like shaky hands and stuff like that. Like remember we talked about when I was at Dirtfish, even Graham said that he was surprised by just how calm and collected I was. I don't get nervous. I'm very cool under pressure. And so I don't see that being any different meeting him.
Dude, I'm so jelly because like I don't have a lot of celebrities that I like legitimately fangirl over, right? He's one of them. He's on the short list of people that like he literally is inspirational to me as far as a creator, just as a person, because as a comedian and a creator, right? I don't see myself as a comedian, but I love to make people laugh, and that shows in my videos. Like that's my primary goal above all else is to entertain people. And it's like I look at him and it's like he entertains me on a level that not a lot of people do. So I'm like completely jealous that you're not only meeting him, you're freaking working on a project with this guy. So
Well, you forgot the third part. He approached me every time.
and I watched that go down on Twitter, and I was like, I was so jelly.
You saw it go down inside at your house too, on the private message side.
I did. I almost had to go make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich just so my brain could cope with what was happening.
Here's the other thing too. I've got a friend that's a pretty esteemed artist here in like different all kinds of different mediums, but he's an artist, right? He's working with Jason Lee on a project right now, and I'm going to get him involved in doing some artwork on some of the case modding for the Old Spice theme. So
Can I get some
I've
signatures?
actually got a connection to Jason Lee if I want to do something there. So
Can I have some signatures? Can you get Terry Crews to sign my underwear if I send
I'll
it
get him
you?
to sign a profile shot.
Thank you. Thank you. Not my underwear, even if I send I'll clean them first.
Use it as a random cat just goes walking past your computer over there.
Oh, really?
On your right. Look behind your TV on the right.
You left the
Is there
door
a cat
open.
back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
She's knocking shit over now.
We just saw something lurking back there. That's all.
Man,
All right. I'm not
No.
rolling the outro again.
Yeah, screw the outro. We're done.
Just ending